Hello fellow traders, this is Jeff Parks. In this short tutorial I want to talk about some of the new things that were upgraded to the new Octave Pro. Some of the things that you're going to notice is that you have a new function down here at the bottom. This is called Polarized, and it's a different type of metric reading for those who still like to trade manually. When I say manually, that means not waiting for the Octave system to actually generate an alert for you, but go ahead and manually find a trade and place it based on the information that's coming out of the halo and from your Octave bar, and of course what's coming out of the Polarized here at the bottom. Okay, now for those of you who are interested in trading in a scalping fashion because you're taking manual trades, which is you're not waiting for the Octave system to produce the trades for you, which by the way I recommend that you only wait for the system trades that are produced by Octave because those are going to be the most accurate. Now if you do not want to wait for Octave and you want to get into some market action that you see on your screen, then the same rules apply as before. You want to wait for the halo to be at least over 100 and your Octave bar should be at least in the 90 range recommended. Between 100 and at least 90 is the range you want this to be at. Now when working with the Polarized, which the reason this was designed was to help you with timing, entry timing, you want this to be at least 10 or less. As long as it's 10 or less, that is the ideal conditions for getting in for a manual scalp trade. If it's higher than 10, then it comes with more risks. 20 or less, I consider that, between a rating of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. 20 or less is more like it's like a 7 and an 8, okay? And then when you get to the 10 or less, then you're looking at a 9 or a 10 for accuracy, for timing. Now if you see it suddenly drop down to 30 or higher, like 40, 50, then you really do not want to be in the market at that point because chances are it's bottoming out and it's probably going to reverse. Now for this particular example, the last trade we had was today, and we did a short on the euro dollar at 0.885. So I'm gonna go ahead and chew that up with some crosshairs. Okay, so for this particular trade, this is where Octave went short at. So that put in about 30 good pips. So we went in from here and we basically dropped down. Now, another thing that changed with the new Octave is that we have shorter targets. The targets are usually between 6 to 10 pips or something like that. The difference is that Octave now produces a lot more trades than the old Octave. The old Octave sometimes would do 1 or 2 trades a week, sometime more. But now this one's more consistent. So pretty much every 24 hours or so, there should be something being cranked out with the Octave system. Now for this particular one, the target was right about here, 0.880, and that would have put you right about here for your target. Now majority of the time you're going to have a lot of Octave trades where it'll get you in on a good position. You have the option to take your profit, or if you're using the correct money management and you're not over leveraging your account, you can let it ride. And a lot of the times you're going to be able to catch these really nice moves that Octave puts you in. Why it's set up like this? Well, because the markets are a lot more dynamic, and every month and year it just gets more and more complex. So what we're doing is we're finding those razor sharp entries where it's like, okay, if you get this right now, boom, the probability is way in your favor. Okay, now also, just in case you didn't notice, you might want to also pay attention to whether or not this says active or expired. If you come into your computer and all of a sudden you see this is expired, you might want to wait for the next trade. Do not get in. Even if you see this is trending almost close to 100 and this one is say 20 or less, you just might want to wait until it's a very fresh alert and it's based on very fresh market data. I went on ahead and zoomed out on this particular trade just to see what the general pattern is, and on this particular trade what I noticed is that this is a double bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and reframe this. So now the question is this market going to break this bottom, or are we going to go back up to the top of a channel? So this is a very good setup for a potential reversal trade. But the problem with reversal trades is you don't really understand the underlying fundamentals. So that's why Octave is such a powerful tool, because you could turn that on and you can actually see what the fundamentals are for a particular trade. So what I'm going to do is I'll go back to my Octave. And as of right now, the halo is extremely low, the polarized is extremely high, and my bar is extremely weak, which is suggesting to me that this market, as of right now, the way it is set up, this should go back up. Now, I'm not going to do a counter trend trade just because I just don't do that. It's not worth the risk, and I'm not going to explain that to you in this particular video. But what I would do is I would wait for the market to trend back up, and then I'd look for an entry to go back in and go short again, unless Octave tells me otherwise that we're in an uptrend. But for counter trend traders who like to trade both sides of the trend, this is how you'd figure out whether or not it's actually safe, or at least statistically, a good idea to get back in here and go long again. So that pretty much concludes this particular tutorial on how to effectively use the polarized function. Again, you want to wait for this to go higher up, you want this to go lower, and you want this bar reading to be as close to 100 as possible to find the ultimate market conditions. Now, if you're a scalper and you like to just go in for those little quick moves and whatnot, and you want to scalp a weak trending range, then you probably want to wait for this particular market type condition right here, where the bar is less than 77, the polarized is averaging out 30 or worse, and you're less than 100. Those are the times in the market conditions where the market's pretty much just going to go back and forth, you know, like a ping pong ball. So that's another way to look at if you want to hit a strong trend for directional short or long, or you're one of those guys that you really do just want to scalp in and out all day long for a few pips. That's how you would do it. But if you're new to trading, I recommend you wait for Octave to find the trades for you. But still monitor what it's telling you about the particular market, because when Octave gets you in a good trade, at least you have an idea when you want to exit that trade. You see the halo falling, or you see your bar falling, and then you want to go ahead and make an exit. So if you see this at 100, and this is over 100 or 150, but you see this fluctuating between, like, say 0 and 20, you can hold that trade, especially if it's a news-based trade. Go ahead and hold it a little bit longer. But once that deteriorates right here, and you have a deterioration in your halo, yeah, go ahead and exit. But if you're not sure about a particular trade that you got into, and you're not sure if you should maybe hold the profit a little bit longer or whatnot, go ahead and contact me, or just, you know, post it in the group or something like that, and you'll get an answer back on how you might want to manage that particular trade. At the end of this video, I'm going to go ahead and post up some more links to some other related videos that will probably help better explain the halo and some other things, just in case you're new to tuning in and you're not exactly quite sure how this all works. Okay, I'm back, and what I wanted to do is I took a little break, and I wanted to come back and revisit that trade I was telling you about on the euro dollar, about how looking at the halo and then looking at the polarized can give us kind of like an inside sneak peek at what could possibly happen in a very not so distant future. And as I was explaining not too long ago, is that if this is high and this is low, then chances are it would not continue going any lower, and that chances are this will be a good place to actually do a reversal trend scalp and go back in the opposite direction. So what I want to do is I want to look at the original trade, which was 1.0885, which was a short, which was basically right about up in here in this area, and then it went all the way down to here. And then that's when I showed you that based on this double bottom here, that we could be looking at a reversal back up. And as you can see, that's exactly what happened. As you can see, this, when you use these things correctly, this is a very, very powerful tool in navigating the Forex markets correctly, like a true professional. This is how it's done. So So let me go ahead and pull that back up. And as long as this stays like this in these high ranges, then you're going to continue to see this pull back. And the only thing left to do is either A, wait for this to strengthen back up and then look to go short again, or B, like I recommend, just go ahead and wait for Octave to find a new trade for you. That is the best, easiest route that will not waste your time. So you can go on about your life and do other things, and when it finds something, it'll send it to your phone and it'll send it to your desktop. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back to some other things, but I just wanted to show you this particular example that's live and in real time. I know I was going to make this a quick presentation, but I want to draw your attention now to a different trade that's actually going on right now. It's a live trade that was produced by the Octave system, and I figured I might as well just do a segment on that too, because this is again another live trade that's going on while I'm doing this recording. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the dollar yen, and that entry was a 117.50. Okay, so I have that pulled up on my chart, and basically right here in this crosshairs is exactly where this trade was triggered at, and it was a short. So right now again it's in the money. Now what I want to do is I want to analyze, should I hold this trade or should I drop this trade? First thing I want to look at is the fact that, well, the halo is pretty low. It's 57, and then I'm also looking at the fact that the polarized is extremely high. It's 47. So what this is telling me is, between here and here, I pulled in almost 20 pips, which is actually a pretty decent trade. It's time to go ahead and book some profits. And you need to ask yourself, have you hit your 1 or 2% profit rule for the day? And if you've done that, as I've already instructed in my previous videos, go ahead and take the money and just wait for the next trade. There's plenty of trades produced by the Octave system, so there really is no need to get greedy and try to push trades that haven't been placed by the actual Octave system. But I mean, if you must take the trade and you want to do extra beyond what Octave is producing, just be cautious. Take your time. Don't push the trades. But I recommend you just let Octave do its job, which is to find the trades for you. I've set Octave up to be mobile, so you don't have to sit in front of your computer all day. You know, you just leave it running. When it finds something, you get the alert for it. Then it's time to focus, sit down, zone out the rest of the world, pay attention to your trade, and make your money. And then take your profit and wait for the next one. It's real simple and easy to do. I've done the hard work, the leg work, the programming, the coding, the back testing, the forward testing, everything necessary so that you could just come in here, subscribe, watch the videos, understand the basics, follow the rules, and move forward and do well. But it rests upon you to try to resist the urge for greed and stick to the rules. You want to be a trader, but you also want to be an investor. You also want to say, hey, look, I need to throttle this down. I need to make a smooth equity curve, just like Jeff told me. I need to shoot for my 1 or 2%, replicate, duplicate, scale, rinse to repeat, and do it over again. That is all there is to it. You don't have to be a hot shot. You don't have nothing to prove. You know, you got one of the hottest tools ever created for the retail man. You have it in front of you. This is it. Just work with it. Every time you look, I'm posting trades, and every time you look on my group or my post on my profile on Facebook or whatever, you see it all the time. People are posting their trades that they're making money, but they have to follow the rules. The moment you don't follow the rules and you get greedy or you over leverage, the market is heartless and ruthless. If you make a mistake, it's going to let you know it. So I just hope you take this to heart. You see me post examples, be smooth about it, keep a cool head, follow the system, follow the numbers. The data is there. Yes, sometimes the data moves back and forth really fast, but that's because the market moves back and forth really fast. And at least what it's doing is keeping up with the market to let you know in real time what is going on, so you're not sitting there trying to flip a coin, you know, and losing sleep over like, oh my god, what do I do, what do I do? Just follow the system. Follow what it's telling you. Right now, the market, the Octave bar, it's gotten a little bit stronger. Now we're back at the 91. As you can see here, while I've been talking to you, the polarized has been dropping and getting smaller and smaller. And guess what? Look at this. Even though the halo is the same, the polarized is doing its calculations correctly. And guess what? It's dropping. You see this? Look at this. It's dropping. My stuff is very, very precision, all right? I'm not here to just promote anything. This is real science. This is real data. This is real results. And just like I told you before earlier, when this drops, that's when you need to pay attention. This is the reinforcement to this, and this is the reinforcement to that. This is the real deal, people. All you gotta do is just pay attention, follow the rules, do not over leverage, watch your lot size. When you have a loss, cut it. When you got winners, let them run. So I don't want to go ahead and take up too much more time. I hope you guys got the gist of what I'm trying to explain about how the new features of the Octave work, that we are using shorter targets, but we're also producing more trades. And if you're on the trial version, just use it for demonstrations only. Please do not try to trade live with it, because you do not have this particular function on the free version, which is the Polarized, and you need the Polarized indicator to actually have your timing correctly. It's very, very important you have that. So like I said, if you're on the trial, it's just for observations only, people, okay? But if you're a paid member and you got that Polarized setting, practice on demo first, get a feel for how it works. As you can see, it just got even lower. Now we went down to 10, and look at this. This thing's pushing hard. You see that? See that? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. I want you guys to open up those charts. I want you to look at what I've been preaching in this video. I want you to play it back over and over again. I want you to demo it. I want you to practice it. I want you to have it committed to memory on how this works. And if you follow this, you will do well in trading. You will. Look at this. Now we got a power downtrend. We went up to 100. Now we're down to 10. See, that's almost like a countdown for a missile launch. A missile launch of profits. Now we just broke a new low right here. See that? All right, then. Till next time. Be safe. Trade easy.